Hey everybody. Well, the Qatar presentations are complete. Two here today for the grade 10s and 11s at the Qatar Academy. Amazing, amazing kids. I had such a good time. If any of you are watching, thank you all for your kind words and for stopping me in the halls and saying things. And you know what I realized in today's presentation, and really all of them here, is that I think I've designed my presentations as best I can to not tell people things as much as to get them thinking questions that I hope that in the process of working through those questions, they sort of gain new perspectives and think of things in their own way that I hope they wouldn't maybe have done otherwise. I guess the point of my presentation is to get people thinking about the answers to questions they wouldn't have otherwise asked. And I think what I'm realizing is that maybe I know that they have to answer the questions for themselves once they ask them, but I think I need to do a better job having maybe some suggestions. It struck me that I was over here that a lot of students, and I know this is true at home too, how do you balance between where your passion lies and where your parents' passion lie? Because so much of what I talk about is that I think happiness comes from chasing the things that make you passionate. I think that being passionate about life in general makes you better at everything. And if you're doing things and you're caring about things and you're paying attention to things that make you passionate, you want to bounce out of bed in the morning and you just become better at any number of things. And I tell people, you know, whatever list is in your head of the things that you need to do to make your life a success, make sure you wrote the list. Because you'll never be happy if you're chasing goals that you didn't set. But I think one of the things that we've really heard over here from a lot of students is how do you deal with the fact that the list that you replace, you know, that you put in, the list that you wrote of what you want to do in your life, what do you do if your parents don't approve of it? And I'm incredibly lucky in that my parents never really put me in that spot, and so I can't speak with a whole lot of authority on that because my dad at one point when he found out I had a 4.0 GPA, you know, asked me very nicely, is university that much harder because you were getting 90s in university and now you're getting 40s? He didn't realize that 4.0 meant straight A's. And he wasn't mad, you know. It took him 2 years to ask, hey, why are you failing? Because it was enough for him that he knew I was doing things that I cared about and was passionate about. So that's not, I never had that experience of parents feeling that they needed to put pressure on me. They were always, mine were always happy that I just was doing my best. But so I don't know. And so I open, you know, if there's suggestions down below for people who've dealt with this, like to all the students who came to me today and said, how do I deal with the fact that my passion is different than what my parents want? How did you deal with that? Anyone out there who knows, anyone out there who's watching, how do you approach that? What do you say to your parents? I never got this. You know, when you're a parent, what gives you the right to say you're going to control your kid's life for the whole life? And again, isn't part of the deal that you have to raise a kid up to a certain point, but then once they're raised, you're there to provide support, but not to control anybody's life? I've never understood that. I've never understood how parents think that they, in any way, shape, or form, have the right, past a certain point, you know, past common sense, past when people are probably too young to know any better, to dictate or limit the happiness of their children. You don't do it. Like, let your kids chase their passion. You know, I'm not saying let them run out in traffic, but I'm saying that what makes anybody think that having a prestigious job and a whole bunch of money in the bank is what's going to make your son or daughter happy? You know, don't try to push the life you wanted or the life you believe that you should have or the life that you have on your kids. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I have no right and I'm not a parent and I don't know the reality of it. But I've watched how scared and how stressed out some of these kids are. They don't want to be doctors, they don't want to be engineers. And I don't see where we really believe that making them do so is going to make their life better. And I don't have advice because I'm not a parent, and so I don't know how to explain to parents. I don't understand the reality of their thinking, so I open up my the comment section to, you know, parents or children, both, about how to deal with that, because so many students came up to me today and said, I have a passion, or I think I have a passion, and I want to explore it, but I'm not even allowed to explore it because that's going to let my parents down. And I can't imagine the damage that it does to young people to always live their life believing that there's a strong possibility they're going to let their parents down. And I don't feel like I can go out and tell people, you know, if you want to be a leader, how are you going to be a leader when you always have that over your head? So I can't really in good conscience tell them, well, you know, chase what you want. Although I guess that we live more of our lives without our parents than we do with. Anyway, it's something that I don't understand, and it's something that I wish I could answer better for the wonderful students that came up and talked to me. I mean, no disrespect to any parents out there. I don't understand that way of thinking, and maybe I will one day. But I do say to all the students here that a life of passion is really the only one that I think brings happiness. I'm not going to say it's the only one worth living. I think that's too broad a concept, but a life of passion for what you do and for the people you get to do it with, I think that's an extraordinary thing that I'm so lucky to have found. And I guess maybe I'm being a little overzealous by telling everyone to go chase it. But I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go sand duning. I'm jet lagged. I don't make any sense, I'm sure, but I'm gonna go sand duning. And thank you everyone here at Qatar Academy, and to everyone who's been a part. Paula and Julie and Patrick and Liz. Thank you everyone so far. We'll talk some more. I'm heading back to the hotel.